obvious as a fever, a runny nose, a sore throat, or any other physical symptoms that would cause you to seek out medical attention. Describe what you're feeling when you know you've got the excuse bug. Be as specific as you can. Common symptoms include frequent episodes of blame and fault-finding when just about anyone or anything that you think of is held responsible for your unhappiness. Shame that sneakily attacks you. Anger at yourself and others, which erupts at the tiniest irritation. Envy that breaks out when you compare yourself to others. And laziness, inactivity, and complaining. As the excuse bug takes hold, you notice that you spend a lot of time looking for occasions to be offended. Anyone else's success, happiness, and good health just serves to intensify your symptoms. Self-doubt, resentment, anxiety, worry, hopelessness, sadness, unworthiness, and more may also occur. Number 2, when did your symptoms first appear? Your symptoms could very well stem from childhood memories that still persist in adult versions. For example, the rationalization, "I'm too old," may have appeared as, "I'm too young" when you were a teenager. And the adult excuse, "I'm too busy," might have originated as, "I can't do my chores because I have to play with my friends and do my homework and get to bed when you were in school." Perhaps you also admired family members who modeled seemingly successful excuse-making behavior. These lifelong thinking habits have become so incorporated into your being that only now are you beginning to see them as symptomatic of a disease process. While there's no remedy for the conditions you were exposed to that contributed to the presence of your excuse disease, today you can now see how you were infected at an early age. And the best medicine for the situation may just be found in humor, like actress Tallulah, particularly the observation she was said to have made, that, quote, "The only thing I regret about my past is the length of it. If I had to live my life again, I'd make the same mistake, only sooner." Unquote. 3. Whom were you with? Simply knowing whom you were with when you came down with one of your excuse diseases unfortunately won't change it. You'll gain a modicum of insight, but the conclusion remains the same. Your past is always going to be the way it was, and there's no way to alter it. Those people you were with when you caught so many self-defeating thinking habits should be pretty much obvious to you by now. They include members of your immediate and extended family, especially your parents and grandparents, teachers, classmates, and friends, members of religious organizations, and even folks who appeared on the television programs you watched, in the magazines and newspapers you read, and in the music you listened to. I could go on and on listing all of the ways you were exposed to mind viruses. The only purpose those viruses had was to replicate, infiltrate, and spread whenever and wherever possible. And your inquisitive, open, and willing mind surely was an inviting place for them to take up residence. So when you ask whom you were with when you caught this excuse disease, you can realistically answer that it was most everyone and everything you came into regular contact with from the earliest moments of your life. Question number 4. Did the people you were around have similar symptoms? Were they contagious? If you were being medically treated for a disease, it would be important to curtail its spread. Not only would you need to be treated accordingly, but whoever you caught it from would need to be so also. In addition, you'd be told how to minimize endangering others, and you might even be isolated to stop the epidemic from growing. The people with whom you had close contact throughout your life carried the illness of excuse-making. Obviously, medication or isolation aren't called for here. But you do need to make the decision to rehabilitate yourself if you are to overcome lifelong habituated thinking habits. While you were growing up and being exposed to the excuse disease, you were unaware of what was happening. The means for transferring the mind viruses caught was through the magic of memetics, which I discussed in the opening chapters of this program. Remember that mimic is the root word of memetics, and you certainly did mimic